At this school, love isn't just against the rules. It's basically treated like a felony. Get caught dating, your academic career doesn't just end. It gets publicly executed, expelled, shamed, wiped from existence like you were a glitch in the system. So naturally, students don't stop having feelings. They just get really, really good at hiding them. And one girl, she figured out how to turn all that secrecy into a side hustle. Welcome to Aran School. For the first time in over 10 years, this former all-girls academy is going co-ed. That's right. Boys are arriving. Real, live, walking, breathing teenage boys from the neighboring school are transferring. This is a historic moment. A cultural reset. A social experiment nobody fully prepared for. And then, he walks in. Our hero, Maki. He enters with his crew, like they're the headliners at a music festival. And within seconds, girls are lining the hallway just to stare. Phones are out. Whispers are flying. It's giving rare species sighting. Meanwhile, a bubbly little firecracker of a girl runs up to our heroine Icha, who is minding her business, playing some random stick game, and says, "Drop the caveman hobby and come see the new guys." She grabs her hand and drags her over like the circus just rolled into town. But here's the twist. This isn't the first time Icha has seen Maki. Flashback to last year. Icha's mom, who's raising her alone after her father bailed on them, works cleaning houses. One day, her chronic back pain gets so bad she ends up in the hospital. Icha sits there alone in the waiting area, probably pretending she's fine when she's absolutely not. And that's when Maki sits down next to her. He starts talking, casually, kindly, like it's no big deal. Turns out, he's waiting for someone too. They chat. He makes her smile. And before he leaves, he notices her school uniform and says he'll see her again next year. Because he's trying to cut back to the present. And Maki? Oh, he's not wasting time. He and his laid-back best friend are instantly surrounded. Girls are asking for selfies like this. Is a red carpet event. And honestly, the hype makes sense. These guys aren't just good-looking. They're loaded. Maki's family is old money rich. His best friend? Same vibe. And Maki's father? He's the city's governor. Which makes the gap between them and Icha feel like the distance between a penthouse and a bus stop. Almost everyone at this school comes from money. Designer bags, luxury cars, weekend yacht energy, except Icha and her friend, who are basically budgeting snacks. Then the bell rings for the official welcome ceremony. All students gather. There's chatter, excitement, low-level chaos, until suddenly, you hear it. Click. Click, click, the sound of the principal's heels. And just like that, every girl snaps into perfect posture like they've been activated by a secret code. The boys are stunned. One of them tries whispering, "Is she really that scary?" And the girl next to him practically hisses, "Shut up." And then she appears. The principal looks like she irons her thoughts before speaking them. Strict doesn't even begin to cover it. She steps up and says calmly, but with the energy of someone who means business. "In the name of God, there will be no relationships. Not inside the school, not outside the school. If I catch you dating, both of you will be expelled. It will be written in your permanent record. You are here to study." The boys' jaws hit the floor. One of them blurts out, "Wait, you want us to just study? No fun? That's oppression." Teachers rush in to quiet them before this turns into a revolution. Then a brave student asks, "So, love is forbidden?" The principal raises an eyebrow. "God forbid. Who said that? I'm not a dictator. Love all you want in your head, in your heart. Just don't let me find out. Because the second I do, you're gone." Mike dropped politely. Later, during recess, Icha walks with her bubbly friend, and they spot the rich girls surrounding Maki and his chill bestie. Plans are being made. Fancy outings, probably somewhere with overpriced drinks and mood lighting. Icha knows that one night out like that would cost her the equivalent of 10 days' worth of meals. So when someone casually invites her along, she smiles and declines. Politely, firmly, because reality doesn't care about your crush. And then Maki walks up to her. He asks if she remembers him. She says yes. Of course she does. She greets him. Calm, collected, and then walks away before her heart can betray her face. Meanwhile, in another part of campus, power is making its own entrance. Maki's father, the governor, arrives for a visit. With him is Maki's older brother, who just happens to be a teacher at this very school. They walk the halls with the principal, who looks like someone swallowing a decision she never agreed with. It's clear she wasn't thrilled about the co-ed change. But when the governor speaks, schools listen. And just like that, the stage is set. A school where love is basically contraband. A rich golden boy with political power in his DNA. A girl who can't afford distractions, and a system so strict, it practically dares someone to break it. What could possibly go wrong? But here's where things get messy. We start noticing that Maki's relationship with his father. Yeah, not exactly world's best dad material. The governor shows up at school for a visit while Maki's out on the basketball court. You'd think there'd be some proud dad moment. Maybe a handshake, maybe eye contact. Nope. Maki barely acknowledges him, especially not in front of the principal. It's cold. Like I see you, but I don't respect you cold. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Aicha's mom is out here working double shifts cleaning houses when the human embodiment of regret, her ex-husband, shows up. He tosses her a few sad little bills like he's funding a scholarship program. Acting generous. Sir, that wouldn't even cover a decent grocery run. Then he has the audacity to say she should pull Icha out of that elite school. She's surrounded by rich kids. She'll just keep comparing herself. Translation. I can handle that. My daughter might rise above me. But Mama Icha, she stands up straight and says, even if I have to eat dirt, I will educate her so her fate isn't like mine. Ending up with a loser like you. And then she kicks him out. Honestly, that was way more satisfying than offering him tea. No snacks for shameful men. Now, back at Maki's mansion, that night, the governor storms into Maki's room and scolds him for not showing proper respect during the school visit. When Maki's mother tries to defend her son, the governor hits her. Just like that. Then he lectures Maki about how he can do whatever he wants in life. But he must protect his father's dignity in public. Image is everything. Humanity, optional. After he leaves, Maki runs to his mom. And we learn, this isn't new. His father used to hit both of them. His mom would step in, take the blows instead of him. That's why Maki hates it. Not teenage rebellion hate, deep, earned resentment. The next morning, Maki runs into Aicha, who is holding her stick for a traditional Japanese sport. He asks her to show him what she practices. So they sneak behind the garden area, and she demonstrates. They start practicing together, laughing, actually enjoying themselves. And then everyone's phones buzz. A school-wide notification, 2 students have been expelled for dating. Just like that, Icha freezes. Reality slaps her across the face. This school doesn't act-tany around, so she starts avoiding Maki as much as possible. Because for her, education isn't optional. It's survival. It's her way out. She can't afford feelings. Then Maki's older brother, the teacher, spots them talking, and immediately warns Maki not to cause trouble for their father. And honestly, he sounds exactly like the governor. Same tone, same priorities. Like father, like son, at least on the surface. Later, Icha attends a student council meeting as her class representative, alongside her quiet, glasses-wearing classmate. After the meeting ends and everyone leaves, a teacher calls her aside. It's about tuition. The teacher gently tells her she needs to pay soon. She understands Aicha's financial situation, but rules are rules. However, if Icha keeps her grades high, she might earn a university recommendation. That's hope, but it's fragile. Turns out, Glasses Boy was in the classroom earlier but stepped out to grab a sticker before the teacher came in. So technically, he overheard everything. Icha goes to him, embarrassed, apologizing. He says it's his fault for not leaving sooner. And yes, we're still talking about this sweet, soft-spoken boy, because not long after, Icha catches him secretly taking photos of her. And when she checks, he has an entire album dedicated to just her on his phone. So either he's hopelessly in love, or we need to have a conversation about boundaries. We'll circle back. Then comes the chaos. Icha heads to practice, and is completely blindsided when Maki decides subtlety is overrated. He grabs a random girl from class and kisses her. Bold, reckless, and absolutely illegal in this school. Teachers spot them almost instantly. Expulsion is seconds away. Icha panics. She doesn't know what to do, so she shouts that someone is sick. creating just enough confusion for Maki and the girl to escape. Crisis averted. Later, the girl with short feelings, the rich one who was kissing Maki, approaches Icha and thanks her for saving them, then casually offers to pay her in exchange for silence. Icha looks at her and says, "You're saying that because I'm poor?" Short Feelings tries to compliment her, to smooth it over, but her eyes give everything away. So Icha refuses the money and walks off, pride intact. But when she gets home, another punch to the gut. Her father took out a loan and made her mother sign as guarantor. He hasn't paid half of it. Now, collectors are coming. The lawyer basically says their options are limited, so now they're drowning in debt they didn't create. Icha realizes that at this rate, she might not even be able to stay in school. That same day, Maki decides if his father cares so much about reputation, maybe it's time to set that reputation on fire. So he throws a massive party at his house, invites the entire class. If dignity is everything, consider this: arson. That night, students flood the mansion, music blasting, laughter echoing. Rich kid chaos in full swing. And then, his older brother comes home. He's shocked, furious, about to start yelling, but then we get hit with a twist. He's secretly in a relationship with one of the students. He's dating her. So the man preaching rules and protecting image, he's breaking the biggest rule of all. And just like that, the hypocrisy level skyrockets. And just when we thought the hypocrisy meter couldn't go any higher, surprise, Big Brother. Yeah, he's basically his father in a slightly trendier outfit. Same ego, same obsession with image, just better hair. We're still processing that bombshell when the next one drops. During the party, Short Feelings grabs Maki by the hand and pulls him upstairs to the roof. Romantic. Not even close. Because standing there is Icha, completely blindsided. She had agreed to meet Short Feelings alone. Emphasis on alone. But Blondie isn't naive. She's already picked up on the fact that Maki has a soft spot for Aicha, and she's not about to let that bloom. So what does she do? She pulls out the money Aicha accepted and waves it right there, in front of Maki, announcing that Icha asked for cash to keep quiet about the kiss. And Maki? He's stunned. The look on his face says, "I didn't see that coming." But here's the thing, Aicha doesn't deny it. Because pride doesn't pay tuition. She takes the money. Right there, in front of him. Her dignity might be bruised, but her reality is louder. And that reality, it's brutal. We see her mom forced to take a job at a bar, serving drinks at night just to survive. When Icha finds out, she's crushed, angry, guilty, determined. So she lies. She tells her mom she got a scholarship for next term, that they don't need to worry about tuition anymore. Her mom is overjoyed. And Icha knows she just signed herself up for something way bigger than she can afford. Especially since she can't juggle a job and school at the same time. She even returns her transportation card, cashes it out, and starts biking to school every day instead. And who pulls up beside her one morning in a luxury car? Short Feelings. That's when it hits Icha. If she was going to sell her silence, she should have negotiated better. Meanwhile, let's circle back to Mr. Moral High Ground. The older brother. Turns out, he'd been dating that student for 3 months. 3 whole months. And apparently he didn't know she was a minor because she lied on a dating app and told him she was 20 when they met. Imagine his shock when he sees her in his classroom on the first day of school. He panics and tells her they have to break up immediately. Not because it's wrong, but because he needs to protect his job. Priorities. The next morning, Maki confronts Short Feelings. He tells her he'll repay the money she gave Icha, but she shrugs it off, saying she paid it willingly. Then he asks the question that's been haunting him. Why would Icha even take money like that? And Short Feelings, very matter-of-factly says, because she's poor. Then she fills him in on Icha's family situation. Ouch. After that, she draws a line. They should just be classmates. She doesn't want to risk expulsion over him. Especially since, in her words, he's the type who plays around anyway. That stings. So Maki goes straight to Aicha. He apologizes, says he didn't know what she was going through, even offers her more money if she needs it, which is the absolute worst thing he could have said. Because even though she desperately needs the money, Aicha explodes. She tells him she already accepted the price of her silence, and that she hates rich people like him. That one lands hard. That night, Icha goes to sit with her bubbly friend, the cutie, who's about to leave for a student exchange program abroad. It's goodbye time. The cutie confesses she broke up with her boyfriend because she's terrified of getting caught and expelled. Even though he goes to a different school. Love at Aran? Not worth the risk. Meanwhile, in a completely different mansion-sized crisis, Maki and his mom make a secret decision. He's going to move to America. He'll continue his studies there, join a basketball team, chase his dream of going pro. It's his mother's idea. He's worried sick about leaving her alone, because if his father finds out she helped him, there will be consequences, physical ones. But she tells him not to worry. What matters most to her is that he doesn't waste his youth trapped in that house. The next day at school, during an exam, something unexpected happens. The student council president, who is in the same exam room as Icha, gets caught cheating by Disa, even though she's actually smart. After the test, Icha tries to quietly reassure her that she won't say anything. But instead of gratitude, the president feels exposed, embarrassed. She snaps at Icha and storms off. Secrets are piling up everywhere. And then the school counselor receives photos through the school website. Photos of the cutie and her boyfriend standing in front of a hotel. The counselor immediately informs the principal. The cutie is summoned for interrogation. She insists they already broke up, that it was their last day together. The principal listens, but then asks the real question. Did you go up to the hotel together? The cutie says no. The principal calmly tells her to hand over her phone. And there they are, photos of the two of them together inside the hotel. And just like that, another life at Aran is hanging by a thread. And then it happens. The principal expels the cutie, just like that. No hesitation, no mercy. She calls in her mother, and instead of comfort, the poor girl gets dragged home and beaten while she sobs. Not just because she got expelled, but because her dream of studying abroad, gone just like that. And for a second, we think Icha is about to get exposed, because she's the only one who knew about the hotel. But plot twist, it wasn't her. It was the warmonger, the student council president. She secretly photographed the cutie and her boyfriend and sent the pictures to the school website. For what? Power? Control? Entertainment? The cutie wasn't bothering anyone. She was just trying to live. Icha can't accept it. She goes straight to the principal and begs her to reconsider. She explains that the cutie's father passed away years ago, that her family can't afford private school, that this expulsion will destroy her entire future. And the principal, cold as ice. If you don't like it, she says, you can leave too, and walks away. Maki sees Icha breaking down and tries to comfort her. He tells her, maybe it's a blessing to leave this awful school. Maybe freedom is better. Wrong thing to say. Icha turns on him and says, someone like him could never understand. If he gets expelled, there are 1,000 schools waiting for him. For her, this is everything, and she walks away. Meanwhile, the chaos machine keeps running. The counselor is overwhelmed, because more and more anonymous photos and scandals keep pouring in through the school website. Students are spying on each other like it's a dystopian reality show. So she suggests shutting the site down. But the principal, she loves it. She says it's good to have eyes everywhere, inside and outside the school. The counselor is stunned. And then it gets worse. The principal officially orders the student council to monitor students everywhere. On campus, The principal officially orders the student council to monitor students everywhere. On campus, off campus. Full surveillance mode. The warmonger is thrilled. She's practically glowing. She starts photographing everyone, tracking everyone. Meanwhile, Icha and Glasses Boy refuse to participate. They're on the council, but they won't snitch. At the same time, let's talk about Mr. Teacher Brother. Even though he supposedly broke up with the student to protect his job, the moment she shows up again, he folds immediately back together. And as if that's not enough, he's also secretly dating the school counselor. This man is running a one-person scandal tour through every department. He's not just like his father, he's worse. Now, back at Maki's house, which is basically a pressure cooker with chandeliers, one night, Maki comes home to absolute chaos. His father has found out about the plan for him to go to America. He's smashing things, yelling, destroying everything in sight. He even confiscates the money Maki's mother had saved to send him abroad. He makes it clear Maki isn't leaving. In that house, it's the governor's world. Everyone else just survives in it. The next night, things take a darker turn. The warmonger drags Icha to a hotel because she spotted some classmates going inside together. She positions Icha in the front while she sneaks around back, telling Icha to photograph them when they come out. Within minutes, the classmates walk out together. And Icha, she takes the photos, but right in the middle of it, she hears Maki's voice behind her. He sees what she's doing. He tells her it's disgusting, that students always do this kind of spying behind the school's back. And he walks away. That one stings. When the warmonger returns and asks if they came down, Icha says yes. But when she looks closer at the photos, she realizes something's off. Those weren't the same classmates. The next morning, Icha decides she needs her friend. She goes to visit the cutie who hasn't been answering her messages. But when she gets there, the house is empty. The cutie and her mother have left. No goodbye, no trace. Icha breaks down. And as if that's not enough, debt collectors show up at the bar where her mother works and trash the place, smashing things, threatening, humiliating. Everything is collapsing at once. Her friend is gone. Her school is toxic. Her mother is drowning in debt. And something inside Icha shifts. She stops crying. She decides she's done playing by their rules. If the school wants surveillance and secrets, fine. She'll use it for herself. She sends the dating classmates the photos she took. She tells them she'll delete everything, permanently, if they pay her. No leaks, no scandal, no website exposure. They panic. They agree. They leave the money exactly where she tells them to. Icha takes it, and true to her word, she deletes the photos. She doesn't toast anything. For the first time, she's not just surviving the system. She's playing it. And just when you think Icha's hit her villain origin story limit, she levels up. She keeps running her quiet little side operation. But now, she's thinking bigger, smarter. Instead of just tailing students and snapping pictures like everyone else, she invests in a camera and secretly installs it to monitor the counselor's office. Because why chase gossip when you can control the source? She discovers the scandal website only works on the counselor's computer, so naturally, she figures out the password. Once she's in, she downloads every single submitted photo, and buried in that digital pile of chaos, a photo of Maki. Oh, she takes a picture of it and sends him a threat from an anonymous account: pay up, or you're getting exposed. Maki doesn't respond. Now, here's the genius part of her operation. The counselor only works 3 days a week, so anyone who pays Icha gets their photo quietly deleted before the counselor even logs back in. Clean slate, no evidence. Anyone who refuses to pay, their photos conveniently stay up and get forwarded to their parents. Efficient, ruthless, profitable. Meanwhile, the counselor is drowning. A student comes to her crying, saying she regrets snitching on someone who got expelled because of her tip. The guilt is eating her alive. The counselor finally goes to the principal and says, this has gotten out of control. Students are exposing each other out of revenge. The reports are multiplying. The website needs to be shut down. The principal says, absolutely not. Then she leans in and pressures the counselor until she reveals the name of the student who came forward with regret. And guess who it is? The warmonger. The principal isn't upset, not even slightly. She tells her that what she's doing isn't wrong, that when you love someone, even I would genuinely love to know who broke this woman's heart so badly that she turned her entire school into a 500 student trauma experiment. The warmonger, newly validated, escalates everything. More patrols, more spying, more monitoring inside and outside campus. Student council members start pushing back. Are we neighborhood gossips now? They complain. What does the country gain from knowing who's dating whom? What's the point? But as the saying goes, you can't reason with someone who's decided surveillance is a personality trait. She forces them to continue, even increases the rounds. Now let's check in with Romeo the scumbag. He goes out with his student girlfriend to celebrate his birthday. She gives him a gift, a tie. Inside the box, a little note falls out asking him to meet her Wednesday in the library. But he doesn't see it, because he's too busy hugging her. Sir, focus, and because this man has zero concept of boundaries, he leaves that date and immediately goes to celebrate again with the counselor. Guess what she bought him? The exact same tie. He almost panics. The man is one coincidence away from cardiac arrest, but the counselor acts completely normal, so he relaxes. Then he casually says he wants her to meet his father. She stiffens. "Oh, so now you're talking marriage?" she says. "That's the only reason someone says that?" He looks confused. She tells him she'll think about it. This relationship web is a full-time job. Meanwhile, Maki is scrolling through the scandal website, watching classmates get exposed one by one, and he looks frustrated because he hasn't been exposed. Plot twist. He's the one submitting the photos. He's deliberately trying to get himself caught and expelled to humiliate his father. But of course, the principal never posts anything about him. The governor donates generously to the school. Funny how immunity works when money is involved. I do admire the principal's consistency in hypocrisy. Later, the scumbag teacher meets Maki in his car and threatens him, tells him to stop these reckless stunts. No matter what he does, he's not going anywhere. He won't travel. He won't escape. He grabs him by the collar. And that's when Maki notices the note that fell from the student's birthday gift, sitting right there in the car. Interesting. Maki starts realizing something brutal. The school won't expel him. They're protecting him, and he needs money for his study abroad plans. Money his father refuses to give him. So he tries working, but normal jobs don't pay fast enough. So finally, he replies to the anonymous blackmail message Icha sent him. He agrees to pay, but Icha, ever the strategist, responds with something sharp and calculated. "You have school immunity." He replies to her message, "You don't need me." And she shoots back with the energy of someone who has seen too much. Exactly, "You don't need me." But Maki lies. He tells her he's no longer protected, that the school won't shield him anymore, that he actually needs her help. And somehow, she agrees. Same system as always. He'll put the money in the safe like every other student. She'll handle the rest. She collects the cash and heads home, planning to add it to her stash. She even decides she might sell the designer bag too, because if we're already morally compromised, we might as well optimize inventory. But when she gets near her house, there's Maki, leaning there like he's been waiting for a pizza delivery. "Come on, beautiful," he says. "Hand over the bag and the money." She plays dumb. "I'm sorry, what?" He sighs. "Don't do that. I saw you with both eyes. Also, I put a GPS tracker in the bag." Of course he did. Then he drops the real reason he's there. "Let's be partners, 50-50. She's cornered, completely. She makes him wait outside while she rushes in to hide the cameras and wipe anything suspicious. Once she's sure the operation looks like a normal broke girl bedroom, she lets him in. She tries to refuse the partnership, but before she can finish, bam, debt collectors kick the door open. And Maki freezes, because these aren't just random guys. They're connected to his father. And even the governor, the man who terrifies everyone, is afraid of them. He stands there and watches as they demand payment. Icha is forced to hand over part of the money she'd saved for her studies. It's humiliating. After they leave, she's furious that he saw that. She tells him those are her father's debts, not hers, but she's the one paying. And just like that, she agrees to work with him. She tells him to leave. The next day, they send their newest victims a photo of them kissing. Standard blackmail procedure. The students panic, deposit the money in the safe, and disappear. This time, Icha comes prepared. She brings a device to scan for GPS trackers. Lesson learned. They split the money evenly. Maki tries to invite her out to eat. She shuts it down. Business partners. That's it. The next morning at school, they head to the counselor's office to delete the photos after collecting payments. But for the first time ever, the door is locked. Icha panics. Maki shrugs. Relax. We got paid, that's what matters. She glares at him. Professional honor. I delete what I promised to delete. He laughs. Honor? We're literally pickpockets. But she insists. So they head to the teacher's lounge to steal the key while he creates a distraction. Except a teacher walks in. Perfect timing. Icha fumbles the key and tries to hide it. Maki launches into full improv mode. What are those eyebrows? He blurts at the teacher. They look laser done. You could be a model. The teacher is stunned, long enough for him to secure the key. They escape. She nearly drops something off the desk on the way out, almost exposing them. But he covers again until the teacher leaves. He steps outside, holding the key like he just won a prize. She actually smiles. They sneak into the counselor's office and delete the photos. Once she calms down, she returns the key, claiming she needed the library key. Crisis handled. They step outside, celebrating quietly, and Aicha's heart stops. Her mother is standing right there, because today is parent-teacher conference day, and Icha forgot. Her mother insists on meeting the teacher to thank her for the scholarship. Scholarship, the lie. Aicha freezes. Her brain is buffering, and then Maki jumps in. He smoothly tells her mom the teacher is on vacation this week. No conferences. Her mom buys it. Not only that, she ends up liking Maki. She even meets his mother in the classroom and finds her kind. The two women walk home together chatting. Everything feels weirdly wholesome for 5 seconds, until Aicha's mom runs into Glasses Boy's mother. There's tension, a look, a history. They greet each other stiffly and walk away. Something is definitely there. Later, during recess, Maki and Aicha regroup. They decide their blackmail messages need a rebrand. Instead of cold threats, they'll send something sweet, understanding, romantic, make the couples feel seen, not attacked. They even design cute cartoon versions of themselves to send the messages. It's blackmail, but make it charming. They keep working. Money keeps coming in. Icha starts paying down her father's debts. For the first time in forever, things feel manageable. She even buys her mom a new lipstick, because her mom hasn't had one in ages. When she gives it to her, she lies again. Says a friend gave it to her, and she doesn't use it. Her mom smiles. And Icha watches that smile like it's the only thing that makes any of this worth it. Her mom is genuinely thrilled about the lipstick. It's such a small thing, but it means everything. Because she hasn't had the spare money to buy herself anything in forever. And when she goes to make a payment on the debt and sees the total has gone down, she's shocked. What she doesn't know is that Icha made a deal with the debt collectors to tell her mom that her ex-husband is the one paying it off. Yes, our girl is now running emotional PR campaigns at home too. The next morning at school, Icha notices the warmonger has gone full surveillance drone. She's stalking everyone, even students who are just standing normally, talking to friends. If you breathe near someone for more than 5 seconds, she's probably documenting it. Icha gently tells her to calm down. Big mistake. The warmonger snaps at her, saying she's the least productive member of the council when it comes to catching couples, basically accusing her of slacking in the oppression department. But here's the twist she didn't see coming. Icha and Maki's anonymous blackmail account is getting popular. Students are whispering about it, following it, which means exposure is getting riskier by the day. Icha tells Maki they need to pause operations until things cool down. But then she gets a message from a terrified couple. Their parents are strict. They've been photographed. They need help, but they don't have money. She tells Maki. He says they should help them for free this one time. They're pitiful, but Icha thinks bigger. If word gets out they do freebies, no one will pay again, and they'll put themselves at risk. She refuses. Meanwhile, during recess, Maki sees his brother sneaking toward the library. He remembers the mysterious note that fell from the birthday gift in the car. He follows him, but instead of finding him with the student, he sees him talking to the counselor. So for a second, he thinks maybe she's the one he's dating. Then, plot twist within the plot twist, he glimpses his brother holding hands with his own student, like they're in a rom-com. Maki is disgusted. At home, he confronts him. It turns into a fight. But of course, their father takes Big Brother's side without even asking what happened. Maki leaves the house, shattered. He goes to the old storage room where he used to meet Icha. And she's there too. She forgot something. They sit down, and for once, there's no scheming. He tells her he wants to escape his family. That's why he needs the money for studying abroad. He opens up about his father's violence, about the beatings, and then Icha realizes something. The day she met him at the hospital, he wasn't there casually. He was there with his mom, because of his father's abuse. Suddenly, that memory feels heavier. Seeing him this broken, she takes his hand and brings him home. She shows him the vision board she made with the cutie. Pictures, dreams, future plans. She tells him her mom enrolled her in that elite school after seeing a photo of a girl her age studying there while she was cleaning a rich person's house. She decided that's the life Icha deserved. That's why she fights so hard. After that conversation, something shifts. Icha decides to help the desperate couple for free, but only if they promise absolute silence. The next morning, the entire school goes on a trip. And guess what? The warmonger turns it into a mobile surveillance operation. She assigns shifts, patrols, monitoring duties. Honestly, at this point, she and the principal need hobbies. At the same time, Glasses Boy's mother visits Aicha's mom and drops a bomb. She apologizes because she used to be Aicha's father's girlfriend. Apparently, there was a huge confrontation years ago. Aicha's mom brought little Icha with her while she confronted her. Icha doesn't remember, but Glasses Boy does. He remembers everything, and he hates his mother for it. His obsession with Icha suddenly feels darker. That night on the trip, the students decide to light fireworks. Icha joins them. Maki approaches her and says he misses her, misses working together, and wants to resume. While they're talking, a security guard spots them and starts chasing them. Maki grabs her hand and they run together, and from a distance, Glasses Boy sees it, and honestly, the energy around him is not comforting. Later, the girls gather upstairs in their room, laughing and playing games. Someone suggests they all message Maki and his chill friend at the same time, and see who responds first. Classic chaos experiment. Meanwhile, Maki steps aside to call his mom just to check on her, and what she says makes him freeze. The scumbag brother brought the counselor home to introduce her to the family, and suddenly, every messy thread in this story tightens at once. Maki finally pieces it together. His brother is just using his student. She's not a relationship, she's a distraction, and eventually, he'll toss her aside like everything else. That night on the school trip, Maki ignores every single message sent to him, everyone, even Aicha's. But he does reply to the deluded classmate, the girl who thinks he likes her. He asks to meet, and when Icha sees that he responded only to her, it hits. No matter what's happened between them, no matter the secrets, the teamwork, the almost hand-holding while being chased moments, he'll probably end up with someone from his world, someone easier. But that's not what's happening. When Maki meets the deluded classmate, he tells her the truth. His brother is already engaged. He doesn't want her to be played. He doesn't want her humiliated further. He's protecting her. The next school day, chaos starts brewing again. The warmonger hears rumors that someone has access to the counselor's office when she's not there. That someone is deleting dating photos from the system. Her eyes light up. At the exact same time, Icha is inside the counselor's office, reviewing the latest uploaded scandals. The warmonger decides to storm the office. But just before she reaches it, Glasses Boy calls her, breathless, claiming he just saw students dating somewhere on campus and doesn't have his phone to take pictures. Total lie. He knows. He's figured out that Icha is the one running the anonymous account. He still remembers meeting her as a kid, when his mother went to apologize to Icha's mom. That memory never left him. He diverts the warmonger, pulls her away, and shows her his drawings, stalling her long enough. Meanwhile, the scumbag teacher notices the deluded classmate has stopped responding to him. He spots her talking to Maki. From a distance, Icha sees Maki with the deluded one and misreads the whole thing. She assumes he's interested. She doesn't know he was warning her. Jealousy creeps in, so she shuts down and decides to go back to working solo. When Maki tries to talk to her, she walks away. The next day, she's back in the counselor's office deleting photos of students who paid. Suddenly, Glasses Boy rushes in, yelling that someone's coming. Before she can finish deleting everything, he pulls her into the storage room to hide. Right on cue, the warmonger enters the counselor's office, searching for intruders. In the storage room, Glasses Boy tells Icha he wants to help her. He won't expose her. She hesitates, but then drags him further inside, and there's Maki, sitting there, the look on his face when he sees Glasses Boy, not friendly. Icha spills everything about the account, about the operation. Maki immediately objects. He doesn't want a third partner. He doesn't want his cut of the money shrinking. But Glasses Boy calmly says, I don't want money. I'll help Icha. That makes it worse. Maki gets angry and walks out. Meanwhile, in the principal's office, the counselor is showing her the newest batch of scandal photos. The principal calmly pulls up the anonymous account that has access to the system, the one deleting photos for money. She tells the counselor to be careful. At this rate, the account owner is definitely a student. Translation, she knows. Later, Maki goes to the storage room with juice for himself and Icha a peace offering of sorts. But when he gets there, Glasses Boy is inside with her, talking. Maki sets the juice down quietly and leaves. When Icha comes out and sees the drink sitting there, untouched, she knows he was there. That silence hurts more than words. After school, she sees Maki standing with the deluded classmate. They're talking, and the entire school is buzzing about how close they seem. The jealousy grows teeth. Meanwhile, the shameless scumbag teacher is texting the deluded classmate, asking why she's ignoring him, while he's literally out with the counselor shopping for an engagement ring. I have seen many villains, but this man, Olympic-level betrayal. The next day, Icha goes directly to the principal, trying to subtly convince her to shut down the website. She argues that students are weaponizing it against each other. The principal looks at her coolly and says, "Why are you threatening me when you're the account owner?" Icha doesn't flinch. She denies it, calm, controlled. But inside, her heart is racing like it's about to burst out of her chest. Back in class, the deluded girl walks in, looking for Maki, who's asleep at his desk. She says she'll come back later. Icha sits there, trying to swallow the jealousy, trying to convince herself she doesn't care, trying to believe that business is business, and feelings are just another liability. That night, the deluded classmate goes to meet the scumbag teacher and ends it. But she doesn't tell him she knows about his double life. She doesn't mention the counselor, doesn't mention the lies. She just says one thing: "I realized you were never going to take me seriously." And honestly, that hits harder. He's furious, blowing up her phone, calling, texting. She walks away anyway. Later, she goes to find Maki and tells him she finally broke things off with his brother. She thanks him for warning her. It's cold outside. Maki quietly takes off his jacket and puts it around her shoulders. And of course, because the universe loves timing, Icha is in the hallway doing student council surveillance rounds. She sees them. Close jacket, soft lighting, winter air. Her brain does not choose logic. It chooses spiral. She turns and walks fast, almost running. Maki sees her and immediately chases after her, stopping her in the hallway. And suddenly, everything feels softer. Spring energy, tension, melting. That quiet moment where two people finally look at each other honestly. They don't need a full confession. It's in the silence. The next day, Icha sits in class, completely distracted by what happened, until click. The blonde, aka Short Feelings, is photographing her. She teases her, saying she looks like someone who's infatuated. Icha denies it instantly, but then the blonde shocks everyone. She sits next to Icha and apologizes for offering her money before, for humiliating her. She admits Maki is a player, not someone she should have tangled herself up with. And that's when fear creeps in. What if Aicha's relationship with Maki ends the same way his thing with the blonde did? Fast, disposable. But the emotional whiplash isn't done. The blonde leaves, and other council members rush over saying she took photos of Icha dating someone outside school and plans to upload them. Icha calmly says the photos aren't solid evidence. They'd need stronger proof. Still, doubt lingers. She goes to the storage room with Glasses Boy, and they find Maki there too. They ask him if the blonde is actually dating someone. He says yes. The guy approached her. He's much poorer than her, though. Glasses Boy proposes a plan. Since they're council members, they'll monitor the blonde and her boyfriend. If she pays, they'll declare she's not dating. If she refuses, they'll report her. Strategic, slightly evil, efficient. Later, Icha heads to the training room, overthinking everything. Is Maki serious? Or is she just another chapter? She finds him in the storage room and finally asks the question, "What are we?" She tells him this is her first relationship. Unlike him, he admits he's dated before a lot, but says not once did his feelings actually move. Except this time, he wants to be with her. But Icha says she can't risk it. Not now, not with everything going on. They should wait until university. He stares at her. That's a long time. She says nothing in life is guaranteed anyway. Maybe they'll just be friends. That's the wrong word. They argue. He leaves. Soon after, the deluded classmate finds Icha and clarifies there's nothing romantic between her and Maki. He was just helping her. That's it. Her phone keeps buzzing, the scumbag teacher still blowing it up. She ignores him. Maki sees the constant messages and finally snaps. He tells his brother straight up. Stop trying. She left you because you're trash. The scumbag loses it. He storms to the deluded girl's house and accuses her of cheating on him with, she fires back, do you see everyone like you? As she tries to walk away, he starts ranting that his brother follows every whim, that his eyes wander. She looks at him like he's the punchline. Your eyes wander more than his. You're disgusting. He storms off. By the end of the week, the school festival rolls around. And of course, surveillance levels are cranked up to maximum. Paranoia. Glasses boy and Icha are on monitoring duty, watching the blonde in case her boyfriend shows up so they can photograph her. Meanwhile, the deluded classmate approaches Maki and tells him something serious. Your brother came to see me yesterday. And you just know that conversation is about to set off another explosion. The deluded classmate sits down with Maki and gently asks if things are bad between him and his brother. Because, honestly, he's been stress-eating like a man fighting demons through cafeteria food. He admits it's about his father. He's spent his whole life either doing exactly what his father wants or rebelling in the exact opposite direction. Either way, his father still controls the board. She softens, tells him maybe his brother is also a victim of that same toxic system. Maki promises her he won't let his brother contact her again. Meanwhile, the scumbag teacher marches into the counselor's office demanding to know when she's buying their engagement rings. Since she conveniently didn't last time, she stiffens, says she needs more time to decide if she even wants to marry him. He snaps, so you're cheating on me too? With who? She looks at him like he just admitted he doesn't understand basic morality. You treated me like an investment, she says. He shrugs. What's wrong with that? Interests align? She gestures toward the door, then align yourself out of it. And he leaves. Maki later finds the counselor, tells her everything, and asks her to keep his brother away from the deluded girl. He apologizes for the chaos. Honestly, the counselor should be on her knees thanking the universe that the deluded girl escaped the walking red flag factory. Meanwhile, the blonde's boyfriend finally shows up at the school festival. They start walking together. Icha and Glasses boy tail them, counsel duty. But then, they notice something worse. Other surveillance students are also trailing the blonde, ready to snap incriminating photos. Glasses boy acts fast. He spills juice on the other council members, causing chaos and buying time. Icha rushes ahead, but loses sight of the blonde. Suddenly, a hand grabs hers. Maki. He pulls her toward the stage area, where they can see the blonde from a better angle. There, under the festival lights, he apologizes, says he loves her. Says he'll wait as long as it takes, even until graduation. They hold hands. No drama, no running. Just quiet certainty. That night, the blonde is leaning on her boyfriend's shoulder. And here comes the warmonger, hunting like she's on a wildlife documentary. She spots the blonde, but also catches a glimpse of Icha nearby. Suspicion flashes in her eyes. She's starting to suspect Icha is the anonymous account owner. As the warmonger moves in to grab the blonde's phone, Icha acts fast. From the surveillance account, she sends the blonde a warning. Delete all photos with your boyfriend immediately. You're being watched. The blonde panics, deletes everything. The warmonger snatches the phone and finds nothing except a bold message on the screen. Who gave you permission to search someone else's phone? Clean. The next morning, Glasses boy finds out Icha helped the blonde for free. He's upset because he knows why. She saw herself in the blonde. She helped because of Maki. Icha denies it. He doesn't believe her, and he walks away. Later, the blonde breaks up with her boyfriend anyway. Turns out he was trash, greedy, always asking her for money. She sends a message to the anonymous account thanking whoever helped her. Says her feelings were real, but he wasn't. Then, like clockwork, the warmonger corners. Icha accuses her outright of being the blackmail account owner. Icha denies it, but then she flips it. She tells the warmonger the reason she's so obsessed with surveillance is because she's never experienced real love. So she bottles everything up and channels it into control that hits. The warmonger lashes out and hits Icha with a pen. Icha doesn't react because she knows something has changed. Yes, she started this for money, but somewhere along the way, she started understanding people, their feelings, their fears, rich or poor. They're still human. That night, after the final festival performances, Aicha and Maki dance together. Later, they meet quietly in the storage room. The next morning, the entire school wakes up to a system notification. Expulsion for Maki and Aicha. Why? Because the deluded classmate had started to genuinely like Maki on the last day of the festival. She asked him to meet her. When she went looking for him, she found him with Icha. After everything, after he warned her, protected her, she felt betrayed, so she reported them. And honestly, at this point, I don't even know how this story found this road. But here we are. Of course, she's furious. The deluded classmate pulls out her phone, snaps photos of Maki and Aicha together, and reports them without hesitation. Hurt pride plus school policy equals instant destruction. Meanwhile, Aicha is floating through the night in La La Land, completely unaware that a nuclear bomb has just been launched in her direction. Maki walks her home like everything is soft and hopeful and full of spring air. The next morning, boom, their teacher calls them to the principal's office. At the exact same time, every phone in the school buzzes with a notification from the site. Maki and Aicha have been expelled. Public, loud, humiliating. Inside the office, the principal calmly shows them the photos on her phone. Then she adds a second punch. Admit you were together, or we expose you as the owners of the surveillance account. And here's the twist. They've done their homework. The administration investigated. They figured out Aicha and Maki were running the account. Icha is stunned, but she doesn't panic. She doesn't drag Maki into it. She looks at the principal and says she did it alone. The principal smiles in that terrifying way she does and offers a deal. Give up the names of every student she blackmailed, and she'll only expel her. Refuse, she'll suspend her permanently and block her future. Parents are called in. Icha's mom arrives. She and Maki's mom stand face to face in the hallway. Icha finally explodes. She says this is what poverty does. This is what happens when you grow up watching everyone else live better. Her mom hits her with a pen. Icha, furious, pushes her away and storms out. Just like that, she's homeless. Maki tries to call her. She texts back that she can't talk. Meanwhile, Maki's father storms into the principal's office, demanding she reverse the expulsion. He even admits he knows Maki tried to blackmail her once to get expelled on purpose. The principal doesn't care. Donations don't matter now. Before, the photos Maki sent were intentional rebellion. Now, he's actually guilty. The governor leaves furious and runs into the counselor. He assumes she's still dating his older son and that this is some kind of messy lover's quarrel. But she shocks him. They broke up a long time ago. And his son, he's dating a student. She tells him she tried to stay away, but he wouldn't leave her alone. This is his final warning. Keep his son away from students, or she goes to the police. The governor's face changes, and then he goes home and beats the scumbag. Look, violence is wrong, but this man had it coming. Even then, Maki jumps in to defend his brother. He tells his father he's the reason they turned out like this. The scumbag, bleeding pride and possibly knows, yells at his father too. Says he imprisoned him with endless expectations. Says even now, this beating isn't about dating a minor. It's about image, reputation, position, not morality. At the same time, Icha is sleeping at a cyber cafe after getting kicked out. She scrolls through comments about her students reacting to the revelation that she was the anonymous account owner. Some angry, some betrayed, some secretly impressed. Then her phone rings. It's the counselor. She asks to meet. Icha goes. She doesn't even have enough money to order water. The counselor notices and orders for her. Then she apologizes. She says her own passivity allowed this environment to grow. She saw the principal's cruelty and didn't act. But Icha shakes her head. She admits she started the account for money. She couldn't sympathize with her classmates at first, but once she fell in love, Once she understood how real feelings feel, she says she's not sorry. Not completely, because now she understands what all of them were risking. And maybe, just maybe, she understands herself too. The next morning, the deluded classmate sees the official school announcement. Maki and Aicha have been expelled. It hits her like a truck. She goes pale. The counselor happens to see her collapse, rushes over, and takes her to the clinic. At first, the counselor assumes she passed out from the stress of everything with the scumbag teacher. She gently tells her not to worry. Maki already explained the situation. She handled it. The teacher is leaving the school. He won't bother her again. And then the deluded girl breaks. She admits she was the student who dated him. The counselor freezes and then realizes how deep this mess goes. Later, the warmonger approaches the deluded girl, brings her food, and apologizes. She says she thought about what Icha told her. About love, about loneliness. Meanwhile, Icha quietly admits that nothing really matters anymore. She left her mother's house because they wanted her to snitch on the students she blackmailed. She refused. The warmonger, surprisingly soft for once, offers her a place to stay, and Icha accepts. That night, Icha gets a message she never expected. It's from the cutie she wants to meet. The next morning, we see the scumbag teacher officially resigning from the school. Finally, one walking liability removed from campus. At the same time, Icha and the warmonger go to meet the cutie, and they're shocked. She's pregnant. The warmonger apologizes for reporting her before. The cutie smiles gently and says it wouldn't have mattered. She would have been expelled anyway once the pregnancy was discovered. She and Icha sit alone and talk. The cutie reveals her boyfriend ran away. Her mother fought with her because she refused to have an abortion. But she found support elsewhere. People willing to help. She says she's not sorry. For once, she made a decision about her own life. As she gets up to grab them juice, she suddenly collapses. Labor pains. Everything moves fast. They rush her to the hospital. At the exact same time, Maki's chill best friend gets injured messing around in the bathroom while playing ball, and also ends up at the hospital. Fate has a twisted sense of humor. Icha and Maki see each other there, but each heads toward their own friend first. Icha sits beside the cutie through labor, holds her hand, watches her bring a new life into the world. Maki waits outside surgery for his injured friend, pacing until he finally comes out okay. When everything calms down, Maki finds Aicha. He apologizes, says this is all because he was selfish, because he didn't wait until graduation, like she asked. Aicha shakes her head. She admits she didn't want to wait either. She wanted to be with him the whole time. And in that hospital hallway, something changes. Icha decides she's done running. She's going to fight the school's anti-relationship law, even if it means going directly against the principal. The principal, meanwhile, is digging through student files, looking for leverage. Aicha goes home and tells her mother everything. That yes, she started the account for money, but she realized the law itself is wrong. It crushes students, makes them feel trapped for having normal emotions. Her mother listens, and this time, she agrees to stand by her. So Icha files a lawsuit against the school to challenge the rule banning relationships. None of the students can legally stand in court with her, not even Maki. So she stands alone across from the principal. But she's not really alone. Her friends show up. Some even volunteer to testify. That night, Maki walks her home, holding her hand. He tells her even if he can't testify, he'll stand beside her in every other way. Court day arrives. The counselor testifies first. She admits the law was harsh, that students who reported others often felt guilty afterward, that when she warned the principal about the damage, the principal dismissed it, saying it was good for students to monitor each other. The warmonger testifies next. She confesses she monitored students not just inside school, but outside as well. Gasps fill the room. Then it's Aicha's turn. She describes how, when they suspected her of dating, they interrogated her, demanded to see her messages, forced her to open her phone, searched her photos. The courtroom is stunned. But the principal, not a single hair moves. She sits there calm, unbothered. Like this is just another rule she's enforcing. And now the question hangs in the air. Is love really a crime, or is control the real problem? The judge leans forward and calls Icha's mother to the stand. He asks her directly, what does she think about the school's anti-relationship rule? She admits that at first, she didn't question it. She thought strict meant safe, but over time, she saw how it suffocated the students, how it turned normal emotions into crimes. Then the judge pivots. He points out that Icha was taking money from students in exchange for deleting their photos. That sounds like extortion. The courtroom goes quiet. Her mother freezes. She doesn't know how to answer that. And then Maki stands up. He says it wasn't forced. It was a deal. No one was threatened at gunpoint. Students chose to pay. Then Glasses Boy steps forward too. He admits he helped run the account. He even says that sometimes they didn't take money at all. The judge asks for names. Names of students who paid, names of students who were helped. Icha refuses. She won't drag her classmates into this. And honestly, no one is brave enough to come testify anyway. The trial is postponed. Later, Aicha meets with her lawyer. The lawyer did some digging into the principal's past, and what she found is devastating. When the principal was a student herself, her best friend died while giving birth as a minor. Alone, abandoned by her boyfriend. The principal carries that guilt. She believes if she had stopped her friend from dating, maybe she would have saved her. Suddenly, the law makes sense. It's not about control, it's about trauma. Icha shows this information to Maki. When the next session begins, Aicha asks to question the principal directly. She tries to reach her heart, not attack her authority. She says students deserve the freedom to love. If you suppress feelings completely, they don't disappear. They twist. The principal doesn't bend. She says preventing these relationships protects them from losses. They're too young to handle. The final court date arrives, and Icha loses. The judge does not cancel the rule. However, the court does order the school to reinstate Icha, Maki, and all previously expelled students. So technically, it's a partial win. But to Icha, it feels hollow. The rule still stands. The principal swears it will never be removed. And then, the deluded classmate walks in. She announces she was in a relationship with the former teacher. If the school refuses to reconsider the rule, she'll expose everything online. Behind her, half the student body, each holding signed letters demanding the rule be canceled. Now the administration is forced to consider a student referendum. Before the vote, Aicha meets the principal one last time. The principal says that no matter what the vote says, she still believes she was right, that the rule protects them. Icha responds quietly. The cutie gave birth, and she isn't sorry. The principal already knew, and that's the question the show leaves us with. Is she a good person using terrible methods, or someone who let guilt turn into control? 3 months pass. Maki leaves to study abroad. Aicha makes new friends, focuses on her university exams. We see their final goodbye at the airport. She's crying. He hugs her and tells her to wait. He's coming back. And the result of the vote. The rule stays. Most students voted no. Maybe fear is louder than freedom. And just when things seem calm, Aicha receives a message from an account pretending to be her, but this one isn't asking for small hush money. It's demanding serious cash. They call themselves love killers. Pay up, or they'll report her relationship with Maki to the school. And that's where it ends. Second season setup, open ending. Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. So tell me, who was your favorite character? Because in a school where love is illegal, everyone was fighting for something. Peace.